it's just completely covered. If I was a tourist and if you didn't know what it was supposed to be, I'd have no idea what it was. Piecing them together, and if they like fell off, they would just die. Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Big Ben's makeover. One of y'all sent this to me in an email and recommended I check this out. Now, as many of you know, I work in construction. Obviously, nothing to this scale. I work mostly in remodeling and repairing older homes. That's kind of what we specialize in. I do appreciate watching how things are built and how big, huge projects like this are done and what goes into them. I also really like to watch how some of these older buildings, how they have to restore them as opposed to just replacing them, because sometimes it costs a lot more and it's a lot harder to keep something as it is than it would be just to tear it down or completely redo it. So I am looking forward to that. With that being said, guys, if you like this video, make sure to leave a like on. Let's see if we can get 500 likes on it. Also, I want to shout out my social media that I have. If you have a recommendation or something you would like me to either see or watch or react to, you can message me on Instagram. You can comment below. You can email me. I also do have a Discord now. You can go join the Discord and leave a recommendation or message me, and I will get back with you guys. I also have a P.O. box for those that are interested in sending me something. If they want to see that type of content and want to send me something, I do have the P.O. box. The link will be in the description below. And with that being said, guys, let's get right into this video and learn about Big Ben's makeover. I do want to ask though, before we get in the video, I know really nothing about the makeover or much. I do know how much it costs. They say it costs 80 million pounds, and I just want to know you guys' opinion before watching the video. Do you guys think it's worth 80 million pounds to do this makeover that they're doing, or should they have just left it alone as it was and just done repairs to it? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below.
I'm in a truly unique location. Only a handful of times in history has temporary scaffolding enabled people to stand here, outside the clock face of one of the world's most famous landmarks. We're here to show you how the clock tower known as Big Ben is getting a 21st century makeover.
It's one of our most loved buildings as a country. It represents the country around the world, so we've got to get it right.
To bring up...
I have to admit, it probably would be really awesome to just be able to just reach up your hand and touch Big Ben. Oh, that would be pretty awesome. Also, yeah, this is a very, very iconic. I feel like it's more so probably, but it's very similar to the Statue of Liberty. Like, if there's a London film, especially if it's one that's seen in America, it almost always features this tower.
This building to the 21st century, it's essential to maintain it for our future generations.
Big Ben doesn't belong to one single person, it belongs to everyone. It's going to be enormously rewarding when we get to take down the scaffolding and get to show everyone what we've been working on for the last few years.
Rising dramatically above the Palace of Westminster in the political heart of the UK's capital, the Elizabeth Tower has witnessed some of the most significant moments in British history, standing as a symbol of resilience through 2 world wars, to emerge as an enduring beacon of democracy.
That's such a big... I've
While
never
the
seen
tower
it.
is widely referred to as Big Ben, this name actually refers to the clock's main bell, which first marked the hour on the tower's completion back in 1859. In the 160 years since, as London has evolved from the capital of the British Empire into one of the world's leading financial centres, the tower has been subject to weathering, pollution, and wartime bomb damage. Despite undergoing several deep cleans and refurbishments over the decades, 2017 saw the first complete restoration commence. Set to cost almost £80 million, the 4-year project will restore the building's external fabric, renovate the clock itself, improve internal areas, add energy-efficient lighting, and install an elevator.
Oh wow. So yeah, if they're doing all that for 80 million pounds, for some reason I thought that sounded like a lot of money, but honestly for a 4-year project, and especially a historical project and all the permits and stuff they have to probably go through, 20 million pounds a year to hire the crew and everything is probably really not that much money in the scheme of things.
Working on a project of this profile in such a secure and demanding location above a live parliament is an extreme task. With its bells silenced to avoid deafening workers and only ringing to mark Remembrance Day and New Year, UK contractor Sir Robert McAlpine first enclosed the entire tower in scaffolding, a careful process that took 6 months to complete.
I was gonna say, if you guys have never seen those videos of workers putting up scaffolding, it is insane. It looks super scary. It's one of those like, ew, it's like a good cringe video. If you just like want to cringe, watch people put the scaffolding up because it is insane. I've seen people like up, I don't know, 80 stories high or something with no rope or anything, and they just have like all the poles on their shoulder and they're just piecing them together. And if they like fell off, they would just die.
We built the scaffold obviously from the ground up to the top, and then the works to the exterior envelope of the building start from the top and then work down to the bottom. So right at the top of the scaffold is the cast iron roof, which is about the top third of the tower. All of the roof is made of cast iron, so we've got cast iron tiles which sit on a cast iron structure, and then there's various other bits of ornamentation, so wrought iron ornamentation and copper and brass and things.
The iron roof tiles and much of the decorative detailing at the top of the tower was removed and taken off-site for hand restoration.
The contractor looking after the cast iron roofs before us has a really well thought out system. Every single component has a unique number on it, and regardless of where it is in the country, we're able to log on and see its location within the tower, what work has been done to it, whether it's been recast, and where its current location within the country is.
That's really cool, just like the amount of effort they have to go in just for one simple thing like a roof. I was gonna think, because cast iron is really brittle, so they would have to probably be super careful with it. Otherwise, because like if you break one of these, there may not be any like spare original roof tiles. So if you break one, you'd have to like remake a new one. They wouldn't quite be the same.
Progressing down the tower, the quality of every piece of stonework was assessed. Where replacement stone was needed, craftsmen painstakingly hand-carved replacements in an on-site facility at the base of the tower. In total, more than 700 new segments were created and installed.
This here is a great place to see 3 generations of stonework in one location. So this here is an original stone that was put in when the Elizabeth Tower was first constructed. This is actually a replacement piece of stone that was put in an earlier restoration. But as you can see, they actually used a more porous type of stonework, and this hasn't weathered as well as the original stonework, despite this being newer. And then this down here is a new stone that was put in as part of this restoration project. Now, unfortunately, this stone from the original quarry isn't available anymore, as this tower was constructed 160 years ago. But what the team have done is match the stonework as best they can, and in time, this will weather, so Big Ben will look much more like it did when it was first constructed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they do weather. So like right now, maybe it looks a little weird with, 700 bricks. You might be able to like easily notice it. But like he's saying, yeah, you give it like probably less than 5 years with the sun hitting on it, and they're all gonna probably look pretty much the same.
This here is stone that has been restored as part of this project, and this is the colour that the stone was before this project started. So you can see the colour difference is extraordinary.
The most impressive part of these works is undoubtedly the restoration of the clock faces themselves, and being able to get up close and actually touch the face of Big Ben was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Each of the 324 pieces of hand-cut glass on each face are being replaced, while the colouring of the hands, numerals and surrounding decoration is being restored to the striking blue, green and gold shown on the tower's original design.
That is a lot of glass to replace.
The works that we're doing to the clock faces are more significant than have been done in the past. So the glass you can see at the moment is all entirely new. It was last reglazed in the 1950s after damage was caused by bombing in the Second World War. So what we've done is we've taken all of the glass out, we've blasted all of the paint systems off the clock dial, so it's gone right back to the original cast iron. The reason for doing that is we have to do repairs to the cast iron, so there's a limited amount of corrosion, but there's also some original casting defects, so little pinholes in the cast iron that need drilling out so they can be filled and repaired. And then we put the highest quality paint system back on again. As part of that, obviously, we strip all of the previous layers of paint off, so we have to do a lot of research about what the previous colour schemes were. So finding out the history of the colours has been really exciting. And obviously the blue is a very new addition for everyone to see.
Yeah, and it's not, I must say, it's not until you're up close to it here you really get just how much of a difference it is. It looks fantastic.
It's lovely, the blue, yeah, it really shines in the sunshine.
With a requirement for at least
wow.
one face of the tower to be left exposed at all times during the works, Londoners have been getting a glimpse of what awaits them when the restoration
I mean, the restoration looks really nice, actually. It's definitely a big difference.
is complete. Before 2017, the only way to reach the top of the tower was by a narrow stone staircase, a daunting obstacle for clock keepers and visitors alike.
But since the tower's been built, there's only been one way up and one way down from the belfry, which has been the spiral stone staircase in the corner of the tower. What sits next to the spiral stone staircase is a ventilation shaft that goes all the way from the basement all the way up to the belfry. So what we're doing is we're fitting a lift into the ventilation shaft so that you'll have 2 ways up and 2 ways down.
Awesome.
The new elevator added in these works, cleverly hidden within the Elizabeth Tower's original structure, improves access for maintenance and evacuations. The team began their works at the top of the tower and are steadily working their way down, gradually removing the scaffolding as they progress. Big Ben is now beginning to re-emerge on London's skyline, and the extent of its transformation is dramatic.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because with all that scaffolding, like, if I was a tourist and like didn't know if you didn't know what it was supposed to be, I'd have no idea what it was. It's just completely covered.
Led by a young and technology-savvy team, from craftsmen to information modelling specialists, the restoration of this heritage structure has been helped by some truly 21st century techniques. Many of the original paper plans and records from previous maintenance projects were incomplete or inaccurate, and understanding the tower's structure and condition was a challenging task. To address this and make future restorations easier, the project team are creating detailed digital records of almost every aspect of the Elizabeth Tower, building off the tagging and tracking system used in the works.
Oh wow.
What we did at the start was a point cloud of the project to understand how the building was working. So for instance, we have a slight lean in the lift shaft, so to place a vertical structure in that space, we needed to have this information, knowing exactly how the building had been working and then understanding this for the construction.
So we have a full model of the tower. We have a model of each individual stone and each individual tile in the tower as well. So we can apply loads of information about what happened to those elements in the past, what we're doing now, and then hopefully it'll be useful in the future.
Jeez, that's insane. Just that alone, I'm sure, is like probably taking them. They probably have a whole crew just doing that the whole time. Like if they're doing every single stone and every little lean and aspect of the whole tower, that is just that alone would be a daunting task. So that's really cool, and I'm sure that someone in the future, like 50, 80 years, whenever they do the next restoration, is going to really, really appreciate that.
The heart of the tower, which is the clock, we don't have a full comprehensive set of records. As part of this project, we're engaging with those new technologies to ensure that we have a full comprehensive set of O&Ms and also the computer models which will support that in the future. So if there's ever a need to make a new component, we don't need to stop the clock per se, we can go and have it cast separately.
As this team work to restore Big Ben for our generation, they've discovered notes and messages tucked into crevices and openings in the stonework,
That's
left
awesome.
behind from previous workers wishing.
I know, like, one thing, like, sometimes, like, when I'm building or something, a lot of people I know, they won't, like, leave notes or anything, and it's kind of dumb, but, like, some people, like, they'll leave a beer can, like, that's their mark, like, in concrete or something, like, they'll shove a beer can somewhere. Some people, like, will leave handprints or notes, like, they'll scribble, like, you know, whoever built it or whoever pulled the concrete or whoever, they'll scratch their initials or something on it. Also, though, like, in a lot of demo work, you do find, like, old newspapers. Sometimes you actually do find notes and stuff hidden in walls that people have just stuck in there. I have no idea how they got there. I know one time on one construction wall we did, the owners actually did want to leave a note for whoever would tear it down or work on it in the future. And so they actually, like, wrote a couple of pages of, like, explaining, like, who they were, how long they had the house, what they'd done in the house and everything. And they put that in an envelope and then we covered up with the sheetrock. Yeah, that would actually be really cool. Like, you know, in the future, if someone finds that, it'd be like finding a time capsule.
Them well. The restoration of Big Ben is in fact taking place in advance of a much larger and highly complex refurbishment across the Palace of Westminster. As works progress into the Lords and Commons chambers, the UK's Parliament will be temporarily relocated. Standing through the reigns of 6 British monarchs, the tenures of 30 different prime ministers, and some of the greatest and darkest moments of its country's history, Big Ben has witnessed the birth of modern Britain. Despite falling silent in recent years, what the remarkable team have achieved behind this scaffolding, through thousands of hours of carving, gilding and documenting, with extreme care and attention to detail, will return this British icon to its former glory, allowing it to stand as a symbol of free democracy for generations to come.
That was really, really cool to see. Like I said, I really do enjoy watching construction videos or reconstruction videos. Again, I feel like even just that video, you probably get to see more of Big Ben in the tower than you would if you had gone there in person. Like you see like a lot more of like behind the scenes stuff. So that was really neat to see. I had no idea that they were redoing the Parliament at all. So that'd be an interesting restoration, I'm sure, to see. I mean, that one, I would imagine, would cost just as much. And like I said in the game, I was asking if it was worth it, but after watching the video, I definitely think it's worth it. Like, all the work they're doing, £80 million, honestly, for 4 years of everyone on the job, all the scaffolding, all the safety precautions that they've had to go through, like redoing everything, having like stonemasons and computer people to scan the whole building and having to like read the old architectural plans and like try to figure out what they mean and like make new ones. 80 million definitely does not seem expensive at all for what they're doing. So, and it's really cool because I didn't quite know. I honestly thought that the Elizabeth Tower was a little older than it was, but it has seen a ton in such a short time. I mean, 150 years relatively is not that long of a time, considering most of your houses over there are probably a lot older than that. So yeah, it's definitely interesting to see. Thank you for suggesting it to me. And it kind of does make me want to visit London now. I know I've said in previous videos I never really want to visit London. Like I kind of just want to fly in and just immediately leave. But I don't know. I feel like I should, if I go over there, I probably should at least spend 2 days in London just because, for all the architecture and history that is there. With that being said, guys, that's all I have for the video. Again, thank you for recommending it to me. If you watched this far, thank you for watching. Please like, share. And if you're new to the channel and watch this far, then definitely consider subscribing. Also, if you're new to the channel and just subscribed, when I hit 50K, I'm going to be buying a plane ticket for someone to come over here to the US. Maybe you can go to New York City and check out the Statue of Liberty if you want. It's not near as exciting, I've heard. It's not near as cool as Big Ben. It's just a statue, not much to see there. But if you want to see it, you might have a chance to come over here and see it in person. So anyway, guys, with that being said, thank you all so much. I will catch you guys in the next video.